I can't believe you guys are still watching me at this hour. I thought I was already irrelevant. As usual, if you're watching, give a shout out, or leave a shamade emoji below to cheer me up. Let me know I still have some traffic, so I'm not completely forgotten. Alright, enough with the chit chat. Let's grab our phones with less than 60% battery, casually cross our right foot over our left, and dive straight into today's bedtime story. There's a wilderness survival blogger named Owen. He has a wooden cabin shelter in the cold fjord. This time, Owen came here, carrying an impressive fireplace. Under the heavy white snow, the shelter looked especially lonely. Fortunately, Owen had arrived. Although the shelter didn't have a wooden door yet, his goal this time was to build one for it and install the fireplace he brought. Owen organized his camping gear inside the cabin. He already had wooden planks prepared inside. Building the wooden door would be much simpler now. Owen went outside. He found a piece of wood left over from building the shelter. He sawed it to roughly the same width as the door frame. Then, he could attach the 3 wooden planks from inside to the prepared frame. Connecting the 3 planks tightly together, a smooth wooden door was quickly made. Owen carried the wooden door to the entrance. He measured the door against the frame. When the wooden door was perfectly fitted into the frame, I have to say, that old guy really knows his stuff. He really paid attention to the details in construction. To secure the wooden door to the frame, he also needed to chop a flat surface on the wooden beams of the wall with an axe. Then, he used hinges to firmly attach the wooden door. Once a sturdy wooden door had smooth opening and closing functionality, the shelter was finally a home that could block wind and snow. A cabin without a fireplace is very cold. The snow on the roof was also very thick. Owen prepared to install the fireplace he brought. He placed the fireplace in a corner of the cabin. 4 wooden stakes served as its base. Of course, for a cabin built entirely from wooden sticks, installing a fireplace required proper fire insulation to prevent the wooden cabin from catching fire due to high temperatures. Owen's equipment was also quite complete. He took out the fire-resistant insulation cloth and secured it to the chimney's opening. Through the chimney's opening, you could even see his handsome face. Wherever the chimney passed, Owen would preemptively secure the fire-resistant insulation cloth. He wanted to nip all uncontrollable accidents in the bud. He patiently secured the fire-resistant insulation cloth. Then he took out the chimney and began installing it. The wooden cabin shelter in the icy wilderness got a significant aesthetic upgrade with the chimney. But this long chimney seemed a bit unruly. Owen fiddled with it for a long time, but it still seemed wobbly. He had to crawl under the eaves and secure the chimney with thin wire. No sooner said than done, the chimney happened to fall down, but Owen was as patient as if he were dealing with a baby. He finally secured the chimney firmly in place. One corner of the cabin was piled high with logs. He had prepared them in advance. He just needed to take them outside and split the logs with a sharp axe. This made them easier to load into the fireplace and allowed the firewood to burn thoroughly. If the pieces were chopped too small, they would burn too quickly in the fireplace. Only by chopping them to just the right size would they not only burn thoroughly in the fireplace, but also maintain a long-lasting burn. Owen carried the chopped firewood back into the cabin. He neatly loaded it into the fireplace, arranged by thickness and length. Then, he used a ball of wood shavings as kindling and lit it with a ferro rod. As thick smoke billowed from the chimney, a roaring fire ignited in the fireplace. Having a fireplace makes all the difference. The snow on the roof immediately began to melt. After everything inside was arranged properly, Owen took out his kettle. He collected a kettle full of clean snow from a nearby pile and brought it back to the shelter. Being cautious, he specifically checked if the chimney was still wobbly. He placed the kettle of snow on the fireplace to melt and boil. Owen sat by the warm fireplace and poured himself a mug of boiling water. He stepped outside, sipping hot, steaming water, while admiring the beautiful snowy scenery outside. Such a pleasant snow camping life. Isn't this what people living in bustling cities yearn for? After Owen had his fill of water, he took a flamethrower device to carbonize the wooden door. But the flame was so strong, he accidentally set the roof's insulation on fire. Fortunately, Owen quickly put out the fire. Under continuous high-temperature scorching, the carbonized wooden door looked antique and elegant. It also matched the style of the shelter. Back inside, Owen had no phone or internet. He was living a completely primitive life. He wrote in his diary by the warm fireplace, documenting the day's events. As dusk fell, Owen added some firewood to the fireplace. Then, he put a pot on the fireplace and heated oil. He sliced the tofu into pieces and fried them in the pot. The tofu slices sizzled, and under the high heat, they quickly turned golden and crispy. Adding a chicken steak and some side dishes, a delicious meal with both meat and vegetables was ready. He sat in the warm cabin and devoured his meal heartily. Thus ended his enjoyable snow camping trip.